I find it very. I just don't understand the cult thing. I just don't understand why people come and dress up. I don't think the movie's that good. But there's a book out which you must get, which I told Bridget about. It's called Rocky Horror from Concept to Cult.
Il y a un livre qui s'appelle From Concept to Cult.
By Scott Michaels and David Evans. And there's interviews with everybody in the movie. Because when it was first put on as a play, it didn't have Columbia, it didn't have Touch Me. It didn't have the time warp. When they started rehearsals, they said, "Oh, we need a song here." Janet was a really good singer.
La fille qui joue Janet chantait très bien.
They did Velvet Darkness and Touch Me.
Donc ils ont rajouté les
Especially Touch Me. And it was a huge hit. It was very difficult to get tickets for it. They had the stage here on a big catwalk in the centre. Frank made his entrance from the back, came down. It's not completely different, but it is different in as much there are no Transylvanians. It is a lot faster. There's no pauses. It's actually a lot darker.
La pièce va plus vite.
It's quite sort of sinister.
Et plus sombre. La pièce est plus sinistre, plus sombre et plus rapide que le film, qui est plus léger, plus grand public et en même temps plus lent. Et du coup, il aime moins ces changements. Il préfère la pièce.
Yeah. Sharman, who directed the movie, I think it took 10 weeks to film, and it was filmed in 74. November, December 74. And we finished filming just before Christmas, because little Nell, who was Australian, as you all know, had her plane ticket back to Australia, and they weren't sure whether we'd finish in time. The first sequence we shot was the wedding scene, and it was the only sunny day throughout the whole movie.
Et c'était la seule journée ensoleillée de toute la période de tournage, c'est une chance complète. Il faisait super froid.
It was made at, I'm sure you know, Bray Studios.
C'était fait au studio Bray.
Studios. But the house you saw, they did a lot of Hammer horror movies. Now it's a hotel. But it was winter time. We arrived at the studio about 6:30 in the morning.
On est arrivé à 6h30 du matin au studio.
It was dark.
Il faisait sombre, il faisait froid.
And we finished about 6 at night.
Et il finissait à 6h du soir, donc il faisait 12 heures par jour.
At night. We went to work, it was dark. We came home, it was dark.
On ne voyait pas le jour.
And Pamela and myself, after the filming, we had to go and do Jesus Christ Superstar. And all the Transylvanians were paid £100 a week. Because when I was doing Superstar at the same time, I was getting £35 a week.
Voilà, et par comparaison, il touchait 35 livres par semaine pour Jésus Christ Superstar.
That was good money. But when I did the play as Riff Raff, I did get good money.
Voilà, mais quand il a joué Riff Raff sur scène, par contre, il a été très bien payé. Ce qui n'est pas surprenant, voilà, il est passé à la banque.
Had a good time.
Il était content de jouer Riff Raff sur scène.
A lot of cars,
That's it.
a lot of house.
The wine. The ballroom, the whole of the movie was supposed to be in black and white.
Alors le début du film était censé être en noir et blanc et devenir en couleur au moment de la scène du taille-au-mort. Au moment du En principe, le film devenait en couleur juste au moment où Frank arrivait, il se retournait, on voyait ses lèvres rouges et le film devenait en couleur. Et avant c'était en noir et blanc.
In the ballroom, it's basically black and white. But what happened is,
Donc le décor est en noir et blanc.
to do that, you've got to first of all film it in colour, then take it back to black and white.
Pour le faire en noir et blanc, il faut...
Put the colour back in. And 20th Century Fox said it was too expensive to do. And as Jim Sharman said, it's a very good home movie.
Et Tim Sharman a dit que c'était un bon film fait à la maison.
I agree.
Et il est d'accord sur le fait que c'est un bon film fait à la maison, mais pas forcément un bon film dans l'absolu.
When the film opened in London,
Quand le film a commencé,
it ran for about a week. It was a flop in London, flop in America.
Ça a été un flop partout en Angleterre, aux États-Unis.
And 20th Century Fox thought, we'll put it on at midnight.
20th Century Fox a décidé de balancer à
A
minuit.
cinema called the Waverley in the village, Greenwich Village in New York. The first week a few people went to see it, and then the second week a few people went along dressed up. The third week more people went along dressed up, and then the fourth week they were queuing up to get in, and then there was like some homophobic thugs who beat them up. The police were called in, and then they said they couldn't have it at this Waverley Theatre anymore.
Ouais, ils ont décidé d'arrêter de le passer dans ce cinéma parce que ça avait l'air dangereux.
So they moved it to the 8th Street Cinema, and they had no trouble from then on. And it just got bigger and bigger and bigger and
Il
bigger and bigger.
n'y a plus eu de problème de sécurité, mais il y a eu de plus en plus de succès et les gens venaient de plus en plus déguisés.
And I'm sure you know it's all around the world now.
Do you still have a band playing in the theatre now?
They had one last year for the 30th, because the play was a year before the play was in 73.
Donc la pièce s'est encore jouée l'an dernier parce que
So
c'était les
last
30
year
ans.
they had the 30th anniversary of the show.
C'était le 30e anniversaire de la pièce l'an dernier.
Toured the whole of the United Kingdom.
Et ils ont fait le tour de l'Angleterre avec une nouvelle
And
pièce.
again, it was the biggest selling show of all time. But the show I saw on that 30th anniversary bore no resemblance to the original production.
Voilà, mais il a trouvé que le spectacle ne ressemblait absolument pas au spectacle original.
Because they've tried to make it look like the movie. They've got Transylvanians in the show now.
Parce qu'ils ont essayé de ressembler au film plus qu'à la pièce d'origine.
When I was coming to Paris, I just went. The reason I found all this was when I first got onto the internet. I just looked up Rocky Horror and all these pages came up. And I didn't know that it was on in Paris at all, but before I came to Paris, I just thought, I'll try. I put RHPS Paris.
Voilà, quand il venait à Paris, il a décidé de chercher sur Internet, de voir si c'est passé à Paris. Voilà, il nous a trouvés et il a pris contact avec nous.
Comment ça s'est passé ce soir pour lui quand même? Enfin, comment il a vécu la séance, je sais pas.
So how did you find the show tonight? How did it feel to see the movie like that?
I thought it was excellent. I thought everyone did a brilliant job.
Louder!
Did a brilliant job, and I really, really enjoyed it. Too much water though.
Too much
I
water.
got absolutely soaked. And the rice.
Et du riz. Parce
You should have shares in
que
rice.
le riz ne se fait plus apparemment aux États-Unis.
I've seen it in America, and then they're not allowed to have rice or water anymore
Voilà, c'est ce que j'ai dit.
because they say it's too dangerous.